Hey everyone, and welcome back to What Was That with Gabe Sanchez. Donald Trump announced that he's running for president in hopes that it would repair his humiliating legacy and save him from his mounting legal issues. Too bad the RNC's done paying his legal bills, the GOP won't rally around him, and the investigations haven't slowed down. Well folks, the broke, disgraced, twice impeached, single-term traitorous grifter finally announced he was running for president. And thank goodness he did, because alpha males like Nick Adams have had a severe case of blue balls from Trump teasing them over the last 2 years. Trump thought the perfect time to announce his campaign was after his endorsed candidates suffered embarrassing losses in the midterms. The midterms aren't even over yet, and Trump's already running for president in 2024. Georgia still has a runoff election in December between Senator Raphael Warnock and abortion funder Herschel Walker. Which reminds me, Trump is actually fundraising for Herschel Walker's runoff election. I meant runoff election. It's a common mistake. Trump is graciously giving Walker 10% and keeping 90% for himself. Hold on. I just got word it was changed to a 50-50 split after Trump was called out for stealing from Walker. Man, what a considerate guy. Anyway, you'd think that any sane person would hold off on running for president if they were under multiple investigations, but nope. Not Donald Trump. Since October 2021, the Republican National Committee has paid over $2.3 million to law firms representing Trump in personal litigation and government investigations. Now, before the midterms, RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel told CNN that the committee cannot pay his legal bills if he announces a bid for the White House in 2024.
We cannot pay legal bills for any candidate.
Well, Trump did it anyway, so I guess there goes that legal fund. But seriously, the main reason Trump announced 2 years before the 2024 election is because he believes it'll save him from indictments, trials, or prison time. I'm also going to safely assume that one of his incompetent lawyers told him this plan would work, and my money's on Christina Bobb or TV lawyer Jim Trusty. And sorry to spoil Trump's plan, but announcing you're running for president doesn't protect you. Anyway, here are a few moments from Trump's boring announcement that was riddled with false and misleading claims. And it kind of reminded me of his 2015 presidential announcement, except now, we really know that Trump would be a shitty president. So, from the start, Trump bragged about how good things were when he was president.
2 years ago, when I left office, the United States stood ready for its golden age. Our nation was at the pinnacle of power, prosperity, and prestige.
I'm not exactly sure what bizarro world Trump is living in, but when he left office, it was an absolute mess. Our country was dealing with the pandemic, Americans were struggling, and unemployment was at 6.4%. But now, Trump is saying that even though he made America great again before, he plans to make America great again by running for president.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
His new campaign slogan is Make America Great and Glorious Again. MAGAGA. Look, if we're slapping on new letters to MAGA, let's at least be honest with the new slogan. My suggestion is MAGAGA Badamig Wapome Babouni. Make America great and glorious again, because I didn't actually make it great when I was president on account of me being a bigoted moron with no experience. And speaking of Trump being a moron, he said the Civil War and Reconstruction were the same thing.
Since Reconstruction, I said Reconstruction, I guess you call that the Civil War? That's what I call it?
This is not the first time that the idiot-in-chief incorrectly talked about the Civil War. In a 2017 interview, Trump tried to invent an alternate history where Andrew Jackson would have stopped the Civil War.
I mean, had Andrew Jackson been a little bit later, you wouldn't have had the Civil War. He was a very tough person, but he had a big heart, and he was really angry that he saw what was happening with regard to the Civil War. He said there's no reason for this.
Not only was Andrew Jackson a slave owner that would have defended slavery's expansion, but also Jackson died 16 years before the Civil War even started. I'd suggest that Trump read a history book, but I don't think Trump actually knows how to read. So other than being a moron, Trump is still obsessed with the 2020 election.
In 2020, I received the largest number of votes of any sitting president in history, by a lot.
Trump lost the popular vote twice, in 2016 and then again in 2020, so I guess he's just going for a hat trick in 2024. But actually, Trump did set a record. He was the only president to be impeached twice in his first and only term. Bravo, Trump. Way to go. Trump's announcement had some of the usual sycophants in attendance, like the blind mouse from Shrek 3, Roger Stone. With Roger Stone grinding his teeth like that, it really makes me think he got into Don Jr.'s stash before the announcement. It also looked like Roger Stone was jonesing to leave, though it's not like he could have, even if he wanted to.
I actually saw people trying to leave.
It is so dead in that room that you can hear a plastic cup hit the ground.
I actually saw people trying to leave, and people leaving early even before he was done. He's still speaking now. And then they, I think perhaps a little concerned that the hall would empty out too much. They actually started preventing people from leaving, so now they're no longer allowing people to leave.
This whole prisoner tactic is a go-to for Trump in order to make his rallies look less pathetic. And by this point, CNN and Fox News just gave up and stopped airing Trump's announcement, and honestly, I don't blame them. Even Sarah Matthews, his former White House Deputy Press Secretary, said it was boring.
During my time working for President Trump, I've watched him give hundreds of speeches over the 2 years that I worked for him, and that was by far one of the most boring. I mean, he himself seemed boring while giving this speech, and you could tell he was trying really hard to stay on script, but then he started to get bored and started to ad-lib, and it just turned into a rambling mess, in my opinion.
And to make Trump's 2024 campaign kickoff even more embarrassing, his favorite child Ivanka made it known via an Instagram story that she will not be getting into politics this time around. Not that Ivanka or the rest of the Trump family were ever qualified to be in politics to begin with. I mean, who could forget when Ivanka tried to be political at the 2019 G20 summit?
Yes, but this is all social justice. And if
It's all, yeah.
As soon as you start talking about the economic aspect of it, though,
Yeah.
a lot of people start listening who
Yeah.
wouldn't
Start
otherwise
listening.
listen.
And the same with the defense side of it.
Yeah.
In terms of the whole sort of ecosystem, it's been very male-dominated. So
That awkward moment was brought to you by the makers of nepotism and incompetence. And Ivanka isn't the only one trying to distance herself from Trump's shameful and pathetic legacy. Trump is causing the GOP to lose young evangelicals. Evangelical figures are turning on Trump because they feel used. And GOP megadonors are jumping ship and looking at other electable candidates. Bottom line, the Republican Party is tired of backing a loser like Trump. Here's former Republican Speaker of the House and adult Eddie Munster stand-in, Paul Ryan.
But I am a never again Trumper. Why? Because I want to win. And we lose with Trump. It was really clear to us in 18, in 20, and now in 2022.
Now, what Paul Ryan and the rest of the Republican Party mean to say is that they only support misogynistic, racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, conspiracy-spreading candidates who are electable and can win. And just when Trump thought his problems couldn't get any worse, Special Counsel Jack Smith entered the chat. Attorney General Merrick Garland has appointed Special Counsel Jack Smith to oversee the criminal investigations into the mishandling of classified government documents at Mar-a-Lago and the investigation into the January 6th insurrection. Jack Smith is a longtime prosecutor who has overseen a variety of high-profile cases during a career that spans decades. This guy prosecuted war crimes at The Hague. This is not someone you want to with. Jack Smith looks like the type of guy who would happily work on his Thanksgiving to write a letter to the 11th Circuit pointing out Trump's lies. Oh wait, he actually did. After Jack Smith was appointed as special counsel, Trump said this to Fox News.
The former President Donald Trump, he tells Fox News that he won't partake, saying, quote, "It is not even believable that they're allowed to do this. This is the worst politicalization of justice in our history."
Wait, what was that?
The former President Donald Trump, he tells Fox News that he won't partake.
Trump thinks this is like some email newsletter that you can just unsubscribe from. Yeah, good luck with that. And for anyone worried about this turning into a Mueller 2.0, here are three major differences. First, Trump is no longer a sitting president, which means his immunity went away when he left the White House. Second, both the Mar-a-Lago classified documents and the January 6th investigations have had a significant amount of work done already, so Jack Smith and his team are not starting from scratch. Third, and most importantly, the sitting president and attorney general are not actively trying to interfere and obstruct an investigation. And speaking of attorney general, even Bill Barr thinks there's enough evidence to indict Trump.
I personally think that they probably have the basis for legitimately indicting the president. I don't know, I'm speculating.
You're speculating, yeah.
But given what's gone on, I think they probably have the evidence that would check the box. They have the case.
Trump's genius plan to get financial support and legal protection by running for president is failing tremendously. And as much as Trump wants to say,
I'm a victim,
he can't because it's all his fault. And whenever news about Trump's countless investigations come out, he goes berserk on Truth Social. I mean, there are so many posts with the most unhinged accusations and conspiracies that I can't keep up anymore. And lucky for us, we get to watch this incoherent idiot lose it and destroy whatever's left of his pathetic legacy in real time. Well, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?